It's the start of a new war. Time to log in and pick up your favorite rifle, so you can fight on a bridge for 30 days. But is your favorite rifle the best one? Or does the other side have a better one? That's what you'll find out in this video. We're going to take an in-depth look into the specs, tactics, and design of the 7 rifles in Foxhole. I will be leaving out the heavy and long rifles for this video. We'll talk about them in a separate one. We'll first start out with the Colonial Argenti and the Warden Loughcaster. Loughcaster?
Loughcaster.
These are the starter rifles of Foxhole, and the first weapons you'll probably use in a war. The Argenti is a compact, lightweight rifle engineered for rapid threat neutralization. With a fire rate of 81 rounds per minute, it serves as a dependable primary weapon for the Legion's infantry. In contrast, the Warden Loughcaster, a bolt-action rifle in service for over a century, falls short with a sluggish fire rate of 55 rounds per minute. But what it lacks in speed, it makes up for in range, having an effective range of 27 meters, a whole 2 meters more than its colonial counterpart. And for the Americans, that's about the size of a door. So the Loughcaster excels at long-range engagements, outperforming the Argenti in terms of precision. This makes it an ideal choice for soldiers who prefer to maintain distance from their enemy and take advantage of cover to steady their shots. While its accuracy compensates for the lower fire rate in medium skirmishes, the Loughcaster is a poor option for close-quarter combat. In such situations, switching to a secondary weapon or equipping a bayonet can help offset its weak performance in close-quarter encounters. The Argenti, on the other hand, excels in nighttime engagements, where limited visibility works to its advantage, perfectly aligning its effective range. Its solid fire rate allows users to quickly eliminate enemies before they retreat into the shadows. Additionally, the Argenti performs exceptionally well in close-quarter combat, where its speed and handling shine. However, in open field encounters against Loughcaster users, the Argenti is at a clear disadvantage. Using concealment and cover is essential for closing the distance and capitalizing on its superior fire rate. Damage, magazine size, and reload speeds are identical for both rifles. Additionally, the manufacturing cost is the same, with each crate of 20 rifles requiring 100 BMATs. However, one key difference remains: their weight. The Loughcaster imposes an encumbrance of 18.2%, while the Argenti is lighter with only 12.7%. This difference aligns with the distinct playstyles of each weapon. The heavier Loughcaster complements its more defensive long-range role, while the lighter Argenti supports a faster, more aggressive approach. And this is why I'm putting the Argenti in S tier. Even with lower range, an experienced player will be able to close the gap. The Lululemon caster is a decent rifle, but it's a lot more situational than the colonial counterpart. So it's a solid A tier. Now you might be thinking, why are these two starting out so high in the rankings? Well, that's because they are the starter rifles, which makes them abundant at every front line. These are usually the first weapons Logi brings, and you're bound to find one on the battlefield. The Hawthorne is technically a rifle, though it functions a bit differently from others. It has a fire rate of 60 rounds per minute and a range of 22 meters, with slightly lower damage than the previous rifles we discussed. Its magazine size holds 8 rounds, but it compensates with a faster reload speed. Despite being a sawed-off bolt-action rifle, it still weighs more than the Argenti, contributing 15.5% to your encumbrance. It is cheaper to produce, 70 BMATs, but you only get 15 in a crate. One key distinction sets the Hawthorne apart from the other rifles. It's classified as a secondary weapon, meaning it takes the place of your pistol. Some soldiers recommend it for vehicle crews to fend off infantry ambushes, but a more practical solution might simply be to hop back into your vehicle and drive away. The only real use I see for this is with medics who want to avoid constantly swapping out their trauma bag when engaging in combat. Normally I'd rank this in the F tier, but because it fills a small niche for medics, I'll bump it up to D tier. And now a word from our sponsor, which is me. Subscribe and like, please. The Fuscina is a burst rifle for close quarter combat that's meant to be an alternative to the Argenti. I don't know why this was needed because the Argenti is already great, but it gives the soldiers more options, I guess. It boasts a significantly higher fire rate of 180 rounds per minute, but its range is limited to just 23 meters. It also fires in 3-round bursts, making its recoil harder to control for long-range shots. While its damage is slightly lower than the starter rifles, it compensates with an 18-round magazine. The reload speed and weight are on par with the Loughcaster, although its production costs are higher, but there's a discount when produced in a mass production factory. This is a good gun for clearing trenches or suppressing rifle garrisons, but other than that, it is bad in most situations. For this reason, it's going in the D tier, above the Hawthorne. The Sampo auto rifle is a predecessor to the storm rifle, which we'll cover in a later video. It's a versatile weapon with 2 firing modes, each affecting its damage, fire rate, and range. In automatic mode, it performs similarly to a Fuscina, but in semi-automatic mode, it's comparable to a Loughcaster. Its magazine size, reload speed, and weight match the Loughcaster, though it costs slightly more to produce, 125 basic materials to be exact. The Sampo excels in trench assaults and close-quarter combat, while still holding its own in longer-range engagements. It could have been a superior version of the Loughcaster, but there's one drawback. It can't equip a bayonet, which limits its versatility. For this reason, it narrowly misses out on A tier and unfortunately is relegated to B tier. The Catena auto rifle could be considered the colonial counterpart to the previous weapon, but it falls short. Its damage and reload speed are on par with the starter rifles, but it suffers from a smaller magazine size, lower range, and a significantly higher weight, contributing 21.8% to encumbrance. It also has a higher production cost, yet it only comes with 15 rifles per crate. With its higher fire rate of 133 rounds per minute, the Catena is better suited for defensive positions, where it can effectively counter incoming enemy charges. Like the Sampo, you can't attach a bayonet to the Catena, which is a major drawback. This limitation, combined with its other flaws, earns it a spot in the F tier. A larger magazine size or the ability to equip a bayonet could make it more viable, but as it stands, it falls short in too many areas. The Blakerow is the Warden response to the Argenti's dominance. While it deals slightly less damage and costs more to produce, it outperforms the Argenti in almost every other aspect. With a higher fire rate of 120.5 rounds per minute, the Blakerow is designed for rapid engagement, further enhanced by its larger magazine and faster reload time. Its weight and range are identical to the Argenti, and it serves the same role, excelling in close-quarter combat and night battles, where its superior fire rate makes a notable difference. The Blakerow does struggle more in open field skirmishes due to its lower damage, but given that the Wardens typically have access to longer range rifles, this is a minor issue. Its advantages in other areas more than compensate. For this reason, it comfortably sits at the top of S tier, and might even be considered the best rifle in Foxhole. But what do you guys think? Am I correct in my assessments, or am I full of shit? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be making follow-up videos on all the infantry gear in the near future, so subscribe and hit that bell to be the first one to see that. And if you enjoyed this video, then go check out the next one where I talk about if the game is new player friendly or not. Okay, bye!